Thank you for tuning in to part 2 of this D23. But before we start, hit that subscription, like. It's very important that you do that. Thank you for tuning in to Madman with a Show on Cast TV. And now here's the second part of that video. When you look into the situation, you have these three things, and then, you throw in The Mandalorian, which I think might do well. I'm not going to give my 100% yet on it. The trailer does look good on there. Then, of course, you have the Clone Wars, which basically was highly anticipated. Hopefully they did a great job with that last season, and I think they did a good job on there. But then you also have the other series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You have the Black Widow. You have, this the Thor series, which Taki, he started insulting the fans. Now some people say, well, he was joking around and all that, but you don't need to interject that. As far as don't piss off the fans. And that's what they, a lot of these contractors, when you have the independent people in there, they have in their contract, please do not insult the product, do not insult the fans. And it continues to that they insult the audiences, and they think, well, other people are going to show up, that don't have the same thought as we do. It's not much. It's not much. When are they going to learn on there? I mean, they even announced a Black Panther. 2022? 2022 for Black Panther 2? I mean, I would hold off a bit. You just did that, just for, for show. It says, yeah, we're going to have a Black Panther. Everybody wants a Black Panther. Are you sure you want a Black Panther right now? Do you want a Black Panther Part 2? Are you sure about that? You have now brought out most of the other things that could help you. Wolverine, the X-Men, Galactus, the Fantastic Four, Deadpool, all these others. And, some of it you can't use yet. I know you got to identify on there. And then you're burning bridges on the New Mutants movie, which we'll be discussing that also. You're just burning wasteland, and you burnt, the Phoenix movie. Literally. I mean, you're taking these things, you're remolding them, and I don't think Phase 4 overall is going to be a good Phase 4. I could be wrong, but the way things have been progressing, the way the things have been talked about, when they say, well, we're going to have a female Thor. Okay. Let me tell you the situation. I have no problem having a female superhero. There is no problem with that. No problem at all. But when you say a female Thor, do you understand that Thor is not saying that they are an X-Men? Or, saying like, hey, we got an X-Men. We got Jean Grey, who's a female, becoming an X-Men. Thor is a name of a man. It's like Jim, Joe, and all that. And through the mythology, the Norse mythology, stuff like that, you're gender, you're putting to a point where you can call it gender swapping on Thor. Now I understand that they threw some weight in there, and it was pretty funny with Endgame on there. But did they do that really purposely to just literally move into this? Because they had this in plan. They had this in stage. I can understand Thor's going to be hanging out with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's out of shape a little bit. This on there, but you could have introduced a lot more. And if you wanted the particular person you chosen for Thor, the female Thor, she could have been something else. You could have created her as something else, created a name for her or something like that. That's, you could have gone to the comic and created a whole comic series on it. You could have created a whole new genre of the comics creating with her. But no, you had to interject it because she's like, okay, Thor is a name, it's very popular, so if we put a female into the character role, people will still follow us. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, you're damaging the goods that you already have. And you can't keep doing this. Like I said, you have a lot of other properties you could use now. And it doesn't have to be the Fantastic Four. You know, it doesn't have to be the X-Men. There are a lot of side characters you could use right now to help introduce into this universe. You know, you could start using the Friends of Humanity. You know, the group that just wants to get rid of mutants. You can introduce them sort of in there because, you know, you have all these people, you know, from the Deadpool side of it, which you saw a little bit of it. And, you know, you could expand on just that alone. You could introduce things a little bit here, a little bit there. You don't have to use the big castings and stuff like that. You can introduce the little things that you own. I mean, if you want to throw a Silver Surfer in there, yeah, you know, you could do that. You could throw the introduction of his world into a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. You could do that. There's so many things you could do to start to wrangle in the new stuff. I mean, that you should start to concentrate now. Maybe you are. It could be a possibility. I could be right and wrong at the same time to this situation. But this is what, you know, that's been going on here in Disney. I mean, the other half is, you know, Disney was introducing all the movies and stuff like that. Now, this video is going to run a little longer than usual, but just to explain some of this stuff. You know, you got Lady and the Tramp. You're doing a live version of Lady and the Tramp? Really? Guess what? I bet money. And here's what I bet money. That the Siamese cats are not even going to be in the movie because they're going to find the Siamese cats offensive. Okay? It was a cartoon. It was a cartoon. So basically, a character can be over the top. The same as Timon and Pumbaa are in The Lion King. You know, people say, well, Lion King was successful. I don't think it was successful. It made money, just a little bit above you domestically from what originally. We're talking about 1994. You had 422 on there versus 510 million, 422 million to 510. Overseas did much better, which was basically they did almost a billion in overseas versus U.S. They did about. I mean, foreign originally was about 545,000, but that was the 1990s. It was a different time period on there. But if it grosses dollars, you know, it comes a little bit more closer. But still, you know, U.S.-wise, 510. You know, it's, you know, that's, you know, you kind of expected it at least to have done, you know, $1 billion US if it was a good movie. If it was a good movie. You know, you look over at Aladdin. Aladdin did better overseas, but over here, 353 million. Alita Battle Angel did better than Aladdin. You know, it wasn't a good, you know, it wasn't done well. The movie wasn't done well. And, you know, and they said, well, we made at least some money on there. It's you know, it's okay that we did. But, you know, you have other stuff that's coming out that they're working on that, you know, they're taking all their old classic movies and turning them into live action. I think they have a Cruella de Vil, sort of like to match off on the other movie series that they're doing as far as the villainous, you know, they're doing like the villains movies where they, you know, concentrate on just the villain alone, which is an okay concept, but it's how, you know, you promote it, how you put it together. I mean, there's even problems with even the current movie that's coming out also, you know, Mulan. You had one of the actresses speak out, and that's going to be chosen problem. And some of the people over, you know, in Asia saying that, you know, the way the movie was done was not, you know, basically as far as the mythos and all that is not accurate either. So I don't know how it's going to do in China, especially since there was some criticism of what she criticizes the people protesting in Hong Kong, and and this is where you brought the politics in it. You brought the politics into this whole situation on there. Now, the other things that you hear, and this is on the Star Wars end, like I said, the Mandalorian is about, and the Clone Wars are the only two things I think would be, if anything, reasonable. I mean, they've already canceled the Resistance TV series. I mean, they already just put the trailer out, and already immediately they've canceled it. Then comes out this, and you have the Rise of the Skywalker is coming out, and then you come out with this poster. Holy crap! Did someone just throw this together overnight? Really, on Photoshop? It's just this is why you had to decline with the Star Wars fandom, because you're just literally you're just burning all the bridges you can with the fandom community. We who love Star Wars, who grew up with it through the 70s. I mean, I remember going to the movie theater, my mom taking me, I was a young kid, going to see this movie, which was so fantastic. It was great. And I went to see the sequel a couple of years later, The Empire Strikes Back, which still to this day is my top movie. Empire and Rogue One are my two most favorite movies from the Star Wars lineup. And I just loved both of those movies because they had good tone to them, and including the first movie itself. But now you're putting out all this poster, you're saying that the Emperor's coming back, and this, and that. And, you have so much to it. But did you make a movie? Or did you just throw politics into the whole situation, the whole roundup, and just created just one whole basket case of the situation? Like I said again, I could be wrong. But odds on, I'm not. It's basically, it will make money. That one thing about it will make money, but it's going to make money the wrong way. It's like saying you're throwing a Band-Aid on the wound. It's going to heal the wound, but basically you got to go out and get it disinfected first, and because it's just going to open up again. It's just going to keep opening up, and these are they're just creating more of the same problems. What happened between Rogue One and to the first movie after that? What happened? It's just literally the people that are involved behind Star Wars. Look at Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is horrible. It's horrible. They're going to and right now they're creating a Star Cruiser hotel, which basically you're immersing yourself. This was at D23 if you haven't seen it yet. That literally you're going to pay about $1,000 a night. Maximum you're there 3 days, 2 nights. That they're building a hotel. When you walk in, literally you've hopped aboard a Star Cruiser. Oh, wait a minute. Where have I heard that before? Delos. Oh my God. Westworld and Future World. Oh my God. Talk about that they're going to do the same thing on this. Are we going to have the robots attack? No, I'm kidding. But literally, that's what they're looking at is creating an immersed world within the hotel. Literally, you're going to be looking out of the window of your hotel room, and it's not going to be. I think it's being built in Florida. You're not going to see Florida, or you're not going to see Anaheim. You're going to see space. Literally, ships flying by. You're flying by planets. There's going to be a lot of activities going on for your stay there. I guess you get to go on the bridge and stuff like that. There's going to be aliens around and stuff like that. It's supposed to be making you feel like you're in space. And they also have it targeted to one of their cruise lines to do the same thing as well. They just announced that as I'm talking to you when I recorded this, they were just announcing that we were getting it on our side screens here. Because we're monitoring that as we're recording this, because there's so much still coming out of D23, that they're going to be doing it on the cruise lines. I mean, is it worth $1,000 a night? No, I mean, you're overcharging your customers. You're overcharging your base. I mean, Galaxy Edge is, in my thoughts, a failure. Because you created a Star Wars land that nobody wanted to see. Old and young on there. You may be okay with the young people, though. They'll say, oh, the little kids, they'll be like, oh, they can't tell the difference. But us veterans, you know, you don't even have Darth Vader there. You know, you're using the Resistance and you're using the First Order. You know, Disney was having fun with some of the Star Wars stuff. You know, they had that show with the stormtroopers and stuff like that come across. That was funny. There was some funny stuff on there. You know, where they basically was doing that on-stage thing and they were making jokes. For me, they could have done, and Geeks and Gamers put out, someone had put on, and Geeks and Gamers put this out. They had made a sort of an architectural drawing of what really could have been used for a real true Star Wars land. You could have had a Hoth. You could have had, you know, basically many different worlds on there. You could have had a center with the Death Star, you know, many different Coruscant, many different worlds in one land with different rides and stuff like that. Galaxy's Edge, you only got 2 rides in the whole goddamn park. 2 rides! 2 rides and Kylo Ren. You know, understandably, yeah, I would like to go there to build a lightsaber. $200 is like out of my range at this point. You know, is it worth the $200? $150 I might have gone. $125, $150 I think I would have gone better. You know, and then, you know, your shelves are not even full of the stuff. Your cantina is not really a cantina. It's a joke. You know, even the robot, from what I understand, even on the Florida side, the robot in the cantina is not working properly. It's having its own problems. And that's not the joke part, because it's supposed to have a problem and it's supposed to start going a little crazy. But, you know, I think someone walked in. Who was it that walked in there? I'm trying to remember. They walked in and it wasn't even working at all. They had the music going, but it just literally it wasn't working. And, you know, they said, and you don't have a lot of people going to the California one. I mean, there are a little bit more people in the Florida one. Understandably, it is a bigger park. I did say that in the past that basically, hey, you know, this is what's going on. You know, it's going to happen to the Florida side, but not as dramatic as the California side. So this is what we gotten forward. You know, I may have missed a couple things on there. I do apologize on there because we're still looking at a lot of things. We may do an update on this. I know this video has been a little longer than usual. But comment below. Tell me what you think on all this information I gave you. I mean, there's so much more on there. I mean, there's also the pricing that they're going to have. It's supposed to be like a $12.99 pricing for Hulu and the Disney Plus channel. I already have Hulu, and I'm only paying a couple bucks a month, so I'll probably get them on there. Oh, and you know, there was also another thing that came out, and I forgot. They're going to be doing an Avenger Campus too. So there's a lot on there that's been going on. And you tell me below how you felt on this whole expo alone. Was it a failure for you? Was it successful? Did you attend? Did you not attend? Did you not attend because you knew it was going to be not as good? And like I said, it was an infomercial just for their streaming channel, which we're going to be doing a story. Get this. There's going to be a story coming out in the streaming wars, how it's going to affect something else, that basically people might start to steer away from some of these streaming channels and go a different direction. And if you can guess this, yeah, it's the old way. We may, like I said, I keep saying, let's go back underground again. We may go back underground on a lot of things. So once again, don't forget, we're on mindsandgab.com. We're on multiple platforms. Thank you for subscribing and liking us here. Don't forget to support if you can. Share these videos. Thank you for tuning in to Man with the Show on Cuticast TV.